Coming up in our April video, we discuss new set of regulations towards boat cleaning, some bylaw changes, the construction of the sanitary block at Terrace Carke, and the total solar eclipse of April 8th. Welcome to a new episode of The Council at a Glance. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jules Dumontet. I'm a communications officer for Town of Brome Lake, replacing my colleague Ghislain today, who's in vacation. And we hope he's having a great time, right? Right, guys?
Well, doesn't really matter.
Okay time, an okay time at least. Let's say hello to our usual guests. On my left is Mr. Mayor Richard Burcombe. How are you, Mr. Mayor?
I'm very well, Jules, and welcome to Capsule at a Glance. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. And on my right is the General Manager, Mr. Gilbert Harel. How are you, Gilbert?
I'm fine, Jules. Nice for you to be there and to replace Ghislain. Your hair is a bit more, how do you say, less perfect than Ghislain.
Crazy, it's a bit crazy. So let's start with you, Mr. Mayor. The town of Brome Lake will be implementing a new boat washing bylaw. What are the details on this bylaw?
Yes, this is the, finally, after seeing numerous other lakes adopted in previous years, this bylaw, we decided to, because of course, with all the introduction of, an invasive aquatic species into bodies of water and the significant effect, that repercussions that they can have. And of course, if you get these in your lake, it can affect the social, ecological, and also the economic repercussions. So finally, we put a notice of motion in at the last council meeting. And just to explain quickly a certain small part of it, any resident or tenant owning a boat and wishing to navigate Brome Lake must have a sticker provided by the municipality or a washing station receipt to have their boat cleaned free of charge at the cleaning station. A user defined as a resident or tenant, that is important, is exempt from washing obligations if the boat has not been launched on another body of water since its last use on Brome Lake. To benefit from this exemption, the resident or renter must have a valid sticker for the current year and have signed a commitment to have the boat washed before launching it in Brome Lake if it has been on another body of water. So that's for the resident and tenants that live in Brome Lake. The non-residents will have to pay a daily fee for a washing certificate. So every time that a boat from a non-resident comes in with a boat to the town to go on the lake, it has to be washed and they have to pay for it. And of course, anybody who contravenes this type of bylaw, there is a fine, $200 for the first offense. And after being found guilty on the first offense, the next 2 years, if he is given another infraction, then it's $400. So I'm happy to finally have a bylaw of this nature in effect, and the boat surveillance will be the ones that will be surveying this and checking for the certificates. And as I've always stated, the lake is our number one priority, because without our jewel, which is the lake, it would have a significant impact on the town of Brome Lake for sure. So we must keep the water at the best quality that we can. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Gilbert, let's continue with you. At the last council meeting, several draft bylaws were adopted, requiring, amongst other things, the registers, the holding of registers. What are these projects?
Yeah, well, so it's going to be a lot. So be patient. So indeed, three draft bylaws whose contents have already been discussed at the Council at a Glance of last month. The first concerned the division of the territory into electoral district. As everybody knows, we've got 6 districts. in order to comply with the criteria of the act respecting the election and referendum in municipalities. Minor adjustment have been proposed to the proper authority of the government, and the adjustment concerns 60 more or less 60 houses on Chemin-Brome that usually they vote in the Bonneville-Fulford district. But now, to be sure that we respect the criteria, we need to put those 60 houses into the Iron Hill and West Brome district. So those changes were approved by the government, and now it was presented to the last council meeting, and the next step for that is a register for those who don't want to have those kinds of changes. So it has to respect again the criteria of the government. So if you're interested in that, please follow the communication of Town of Brome Lake to make sure not to miss anything about that. The second regulatory change concerned the uses of mini warehouse on the town's territory. The proposed change is to limit the numbers of zones where mini warehouse are not available but are a permit. So I think it's in December, the members of the council decided to do a notice of motion in order to limit the number of places where you could have those mini warehouse. So I think that we had more or less 10 zones now where the proposed changes will permit only 3 zones where the usage of mini warehouse will be available. So this change to the bylaw is subject to a referendum approval, which means that those concerned will be able to initiate a register. Again, for those interested, please follow our communication platforms for details. Finally, the third regulatory change concerned the bylaw on minor variances. Additions have been made to the bylaw to include provisions taken directly from the provincial regulation in order to avoid ambiguity. Actually, our bylaw didn't have all the words that were put into the new government regulation. So we were asked by citizens to a legal procedure to make those changes, and we thought that the elected officials thought that was a good idea. So again, to avoid ambiguity, those changes were made, and on the a public consultation was made on the March 5th for that matter, and no questions were asked concerning that bylaw. And it's because does not require, that bylaw does not require a referendum approval. So the second draft was adopted at the council of the April meeting. I'm not finished. Be patient. I see that Mr. Burcombe is not patient. So 2 real estate projects requiring regulatory amendments through the urban planning tool, which is known as the PPCMOI, were the subject of 2 resolutions at the April meeting. The first was discussed again last month at the council at a glance, and was also subject to a public consultation that was held on March 5th. The request is to build a 8-unit building on a land that permits only 4 units. So to situate the land, it's between 418 and 424 Knowlton Road. It's a vacant lot. And so the CCU did approve the 8-unit building that was proposed. Not approved, but recommended to the council to approve it. And the council is going ahead with the PPCMOI. So we're at the stage of receiving signatures from concerned citizen opposed to the project in order to set up a register. So once again, we ask you to follow the town's communication to be well informed of the next steps concerning that PPC-moi. The second PPC-moi concerns the building located at 401 Knowlton Road, also known as the old Excel Soin. It's still owned by Excel Soin, the company. And the owner wishes to convert the building into 42 apartments, 3.5 and 4.5 units. To do this, a PPC-moi is required to permit the number of 42 units, as well as a derogation from the number of parking spaces permitted for this number of units. That zone permits only 8 units. We remember that the building was built to accommodate a residence for semi-autonomous. Is that how you say it, Mr. Mayor?
Seniors.
Semi-autonomous.
Yes. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So to convert it in 42 units needs a little minor changes to our bylaws. And the building has already 53, I think, parking slots. And our bylaw stipulates that if you have 42 units, you have to have 1.5 parking slot for 42 units, which is, the math is 63. So we've got 53 slots of parkings. Again, those minor changes were recommended to be approved by the members of the CCU, and the council is okay with the PPC-moi. So now we're at the stage of doing a public consultation for the public. So a date will be announced soon, and a public consultation will be held soon at Lac-Brome. So please again follow our municipal communication.
Always. Thank you, Gilbert. Mr. Mayor, good news regarding the Carke Terrace. The town wishes to go ahead with the construction of the sanitary block.
Yes, that is correct, Jules. At the council meeting, we adopted the boring bylaw for 1.2 million. 772,000 of that tax net is for the sanitary block, and the rest is for the parking and landscaping, aménagement, landscaping around the area there. So finally, after close to 3 years, we're moving ahead with finalizing this project. And after that, of course, we're going to be looking into the back part of it to have walking paths up through to the other part of Bonneville up top, where there's a new development in that. So things are looking ahead, and I'm glad to finally we'll see the construction this year, 2024.
Good news, very good news. Gilbert, let's continue with you. The town is preparing to carry out big works on Montagne Street in the Bonneville sector, right?
Yeah. The project of the Bonneville sector was started in 2021. Major work was carried out on St. Joe Street, again in the Bonneville sector. This steeply sloping street required replacement of municipal infrastructure and better control of water, of surface water. You know, the slope of the street makes the water go fast towards the lake. So we had to better control that the wastewater. So the work was done in 2021 for Saint Jude, and we finished the work, I think, in 2022, and we were waiting for the CA of the Ministère de l'Environnement since then. So now that we received the CA, the proper authorization to do the work, it's now time to do the work on Montagne Street. So it's the same work that was done on Saint Jude. So the infrastructure will be changed, and the water management will be better managed. So at the last council meeting, the council approved a contract, allowed a contract to the firm J.G. Ménard for $4.2 million. Out of the 4.2, 1.5 about 1.5 will be subsidized by the government. We have already the letters confirming the amount that was subsidized by the government. So work will probably start in late spring, and communication to the residents concerned will be issued shortly. The work will be very important for the Montagne residents. So be sure that the technical service will be in touch with you guys to make sure that everybody knows the impact of the work in your streets.
Thanks again, Gilbert. And gentlemen, as you may know, next Monday there will be a very rare phenomenon on Lac-Brome Lake, well, in all south of Quebec, which will be a total solar eclipse. And for the occasion, our team at Lac-Brome organized a great day of activity Saturday. So Saturday, April 6th, there will be film screenings, workshops, conferences, all regarding all on a space theme. And a free pair of glasses will be given to those who participate. It's free, but you need to register to participate. So I'll put all the details. All the details are on our website. So this concludes our April capsule. We remind you that the next regular meeting of the council will be held on Monday, May 6th at Lac-Brome. Gentlemen, are you ready for the eclipse?
We're ready.
Yeah?
Are we ready? Come on, Gilles.
Really ready. You have your glasses and everything.
I can assure you guys that we don't see nothing.
I see nothing. Now I do.
Yeah, you need
it's
to
all
look
right.
very in the light to see something, right?
Oh, it has to be a good light.
I don't see the total eclipse of the heart.
No, but you will see it Monday. Thank you very much for my first video. It was a pleasure to do it with you.
Yes.
And have a great month of April and a great eclipse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too. And
Thank you,
for you that are looking, and thank you, Jules. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thanks.